We all suffer in life, through pain, insults, financial crises, relationship issues, diseases, and countless other challenges. Often, these hardships come without any fault of our own. They appear suddenly: sickness, misunderstandings, poverty, simply becoming part of our journey. Everyone on this earth experiences suffering in one form or another, at different times and in varying intensities. But the key question is, how do we respond to them? Sometimes we curse. We complain. We cry, fight back, rebel, or become irritable. We may hurt others with our words or actions. In many cases, our response only deepens the suffering, for ourselves and for those around us. Suffering, when mishandled, creates more suffering. Even spiritual people often ask, "Why, God? Why me? What did I do to deserve this?" We search for reasons, assuming it must be punishment for our sins. We compare our lives with others and feel frustrated, jealous, or even greedy. Though we know such thoughts are wrong, they arise as natural human reactions, even if we don't express them outwardly. But what if we viewed our suffering from Jesus' perspective? Jesus taught not just through direct commandments but through parables, short stories filled with deep wisdom. These parables hold layers of truth that only the Spirit of God can reveal. As Jesus said, "The Father has hidden these truths from the proud and revealed them to the humble, those with childlike hearts." Let's reflect on one such parable, the story of Lazarus and the rich man. Many times, when we hear this story, we focus on why the rich man ended up in hell. We naturally seek to identify faults and failures. But let's shift our attention. What if the deeper lesson is not just about avoiding the fate of the rich man, but learning how Lazarus reached heaven? In Jesus' own words, we hear nothing about Lazarus performing good deeds or achieving anything remarkable. Instead, Lazarus is described as a poor man, full of wounds, lying at the rich man's gate, eating whatever was left over. Dogs licked his sores. Yet when he died, angels carried him to paradise. Why? Because Lazarus accepted his suffering. He didn't complain, curse, rebel, or harm others. He didn't steal or fight back. He lived through his pain in silence, with humility, patience, and faith. That silent acceptance was a powerful act of trust in God. Lazarus didn't just suffer, he surrendered. And that surrender was an act of faith. We, too, face struggles, in our health, finances, relationships, and emotions. But do we accept them like Lazarus did? Do we trust that if God allowed these trials into our lives, He has a purpose behind them? As long as we are human, living in flesh and blood, sin dwells in us. But God uses trials to sanctify us, to purify our hearts, build our faith, and prepare us for eternity. If we receive our sufferings with faith, without complaints or rebellion, we are walking the path that leads to heaven. So let's stop seeing trials as punishments. Let us see them as sacred tools, God's refining fire. Even when we cannot understand why, we can trust that nothing happens outside God's knowledge. If He allows pain, it is for our eternal good, even if we do not yet see the full picture. St. Paul writes in Colossians 1:24, "Now I rejoice in what I am suffering for you." In 2 Corinthians 6:10, he says, "Sorrowful, yet always rejoicing." Romans 5:3-5 reminds us, we rejoice in our sufferings, because suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. So let today's message be clear: be joyful and thankful in every trial. Recognize that your sufferings are not meaningless. They are allowed by God, to prepare you, purify you, and lead you to heaven. Walk the path of Lazarus, quiet, faithful, and surrendered. And trust that through your pain, God is working out a far greater glory.